Welcome, everyone, to At the Bar with Podcast. Tonight's guest is a really good guest. Patrick was able to get one of his old cronies on from back in the 93X days and on, Andy Hall. Welcome.
Hey, man.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the old white guy sausage party podcast.
It's been a dream of mine for so long. You have no idea. I drove all the way from Des Moines, Iowa for this.
Nice.
And how was the drive? I mean,
Yeah. Well, the good news is we're not in construction season yet. We're kind of in between winter and summer, right?
Yep.
We got to wait until we get past spring before construction season can kick in. So it wasn't so bad.
That's good. And finally, thank you, Patrick, for bringing on a bald guy. I really appreciate that. It's like, everybody else has hair except me, and they give me crap. So
Get
yes,
those
yes,
bald
thank
guys
you.
some drinks.
Yeah.
Get them some drinks, Brett.
I like the sound of that.
yeah. Well, we definitely have drinks back here. So, Andy, what are you drinking?
I see you got some Jameson back there.
Sure do.
That sounds pretty good. Mix that with a little Sprite, maybe.
I got some Sprite too. And Stacy, are you
Well, yeah, I'll do the huge.
The huge?
Yep.
For those of you that don't know what the huge is, Stacy is a hams guy.
I like a hams.
Hams. So
Yeah, they were out of Blatz. So.
Old Pfeiffer, no.
Oh, man.
Pfeiffer. Patrick, what are you drinking back there?
I've got the Cherry Coke Zero Sugar.
Oh, it's a weekday, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think I'm gonna hop on the wagon for a month or two, because I got to lose like 25 pounds because I'm feeling fat. So probably going back to just some protein, no carbs, low carbs, and no drinks.
So,
for a while.
so Patrick, are you equating your weight gain to drinking? Is that what you're saying?
No, but
Is there a
it
correlation
probably
there?
doesn't help.
It probably doesn't help. Okay. How
There's
about-
been a couple of trips to Monday night half off pizza night at the bar.
Oh, okay, yep.
Here, so
I am a personal trainer, so we can help you.
that'll do it. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll look you up.
Hey, Gene, what are you having over there? Anything?
Air.
Anything good in that purple?
Some white wine.
Some white wine.
Yeah.
a little bit of Pinot. No, not Pinot. It's a Sauvignon.
Sauvignon
Blanc.
Is that your type? Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay,
Yeah, because it's dry.
it's dry. You like the dry?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the dry. I like the drier too if it's white.
Thank you,
And
sir.
you never drink red, correct?
Thank you.
I do, but not preferably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I usually drink red in the winter and then white in the summer. That's my thing. Oh, I love the sound of that.
Oh,
Mm.
And Andy, have you ever had an orange?
I have not.
Oh boy.
Nope.
Oh boy. So
He
we're-
gives this to everybody, and I got to make my ass back there just to have one of those, because you guys are always drinking that in front of me, and I get a little jealous. But I'll have to, I'll partake
Thank
in
you.
it someday.
Thank
but
you. Thank you.
You have to try that out.
They rave about it.
Try that.
I even like it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. In fact, I'm gonna throw a nice cube in a glass here.
I mean, I could smell it right off the bat. I'm going, this is going to be good.
I mean, is that not
Then it hits the
dangerous?
lips. And it's like,
It's one of the most dangerous things, but I mean, just a little bit on the rocks, and it's pretty good. And normally I have a poor man's black velvet. I do the cider with Guinness, but I've been doing a lager or an ale with the Guinness, so I'm gonna try doing that again. The last time I had, I think last week.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. So I do the Sam Adams, the summer ale. You could see that stage.
Winter white ale. Sam
White-
Adams.
Sam Adams. And it's pretty good. I mean, it's
And you're serving that in a Murphy's cup?
well.
He
yeah.
turned it. Did you notice how he turned it away
I
from the camera?
did. But I can
turned
read
it away because this is the imperial pint, so it's 20 ounces instead of the regular Guinness glass, which is a 12 ounce.
And I really actually think he just bought it because it's a green label.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. We're going into St. Patrick's Day. And
Coming up soon?
that's why we carry the Jameson, because we're an Irish bar here.
Yeah.
In fact, in a couple days here, we're going to have a real Irishman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real Irishman.
Yeah, the proprietor and owner of O'Donovan's Irish Pub in downtown Minneapolis. So it'll be
Dermot.
a treat. Yeah, Dermot Cowley. So looking forward
It'll
to
be
that.
fun.
And normally use a spoon, but we're gonna see how I can
Pour that.
pour that
Nice and slow. Let it layer.
For those of you watching, you can see that low and slow. It's almost like brisket.
Like me.
Oh,
Low and slow.
Slow and slow.
And so you're calling yourself fat and short.
Oh. I'm not,
I think mentally slow is what I was going after,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
cognitively
Yeah,
deficient here. Getting there.
yeah. I think when Dermot comes in, I'll have to break my
That's like 3 layers.
Yeah.
my sobriety.
That's
for
cool.
That one. Put on a green shirt and have some cocktails.
Oh,
There
you're
you
going to
go.
have to, because I mean, Dermot will be probably disappointed because all the times that we've been in O'Donovan's, and we've been there, and Patrick has had a Guinness or 6.
Back in the day. Yeah. I'll go get me some Guinness at the store.
There you
There
go.
you go.
All right, cheers. Cheers on that. Welcome to
All
our
right.
cheers.
Get 'em
guest
up.
today.
Cheers.
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 All right.
So Patrick, how do you
So Stacy,
know this cat over here?
I don't know. I showed up at work one day and there's this green kid working with Remy Maxwell. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Green?
Yeah,
That's pretty
Andy, what-
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Green like new.
Yeah.
Working at 93X.
Yeah, I met him through 93X. So, Andy, are you from here or are you kind of from North Dakota? I couldn't remember.
Nope. I grew up in Blaine. I went to Totino Grace High School.
Oh my
and-
God, I lived a block away from that.
There you go.
And I live right behind there right now.
Oh, okay. Yep. So I am definitely a native to this beautiful land.
Yeah. And like, so we've had other radio folks, myself included, has a similar story to how we all kind of got into radio. So what's your story when you go back to your love of radio and you wanted to be a radio guy? Was that like a childhood thing? Did you discover it when you were a teenager, or
Great
how did
start
that come about?
because I was very young and I had an uncle who was a DJ at both KQRS and then later on Cities 97.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Brad LeMay, and Brad had one of those signature golden radio voices, and I grew up listening to him. And one day when I was 8 or 9 years old at a family function, he kind of threw out the, hey, you should come to the studio sometime and see what it's like. And so I said, oh my God,
they're
that would
really
be
good
so cool.
boys.
Yeah, right. So I said to my mom, like, hey, I want to do this. I'm a really young kid. And I walk into the studio and, all the flashing lights and all the monitors and cool stuff going on there. And I had no idea what anything did, but it was so much fun to watch him do that. And I think the bug got me very early on, and I didn't revisit it until much later when I got into college and realized that the college I was going to had a living and breathing 3,000 watt radio station,
Nice.
which broadcast to all of Western Wisconsin and Eastern Minnesota, including the penitentiary over there across the river. And I used to get an awful lot of requests, both written and verbal through the phone,
Written.
through the folks at the prison. It was actually very funny how they would get a hold of me on the phone, as they would call, and it would be, you are receiving a collect call from Play Some Slayer.
Now,
So
You get your one phone call a day.
Yeah.
And instead of calling mom, I'm going to call the DJ.
make a request for Slayer. So yeah, so I had a pretty extensive fan base right off the bat in the correction facility. Which,
now, may I ask, was this at St. Cloud State?
no, I went
No.
to the University of Wisconsin at River Falls, actually.
Wow.
Oh,
I have a
okay.
penitentiary over there too.
Yeah, well, just across the river in Stillwater, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they need to have one there.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the long and short of it is, found out about radio very early on, thanks to a family connection, and then revisited it later on. And from there, being able to do live radio in college and then becoming friends with Remy and getting that cool opportunity and watching him work for a while there. That's kind of how it all began for me.
So you hung out at Patrick's favorite watering hole, the Loch Ness. Is that what it is?
What? I don't even know what that is. What's the Loch Ness?
I was going to go along with it. And Patrick had this look on his face.
I think we're getting set up for a cave bar or something. That's creepy. I don't
No,
know.
it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Did they have the hats, the miners hats? Was that the place that had miners hats, or you had the light?
Oh, God.
And
I
Okay.
have no idea.
Well, look it up, Patrick. Maybe it's still online. Loch Ness Bar in Wisconsin.
Yeah, there's
a couple stories.
Yeah.
Well, what's pretty cool was, all the bars in downtown River Falls anyway. And, Wisconsin's a place where there's more bars per capita than anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
River Falls had their fair share too down the main drag there. And every one of them had my radio show playing at one point.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I would have my
Cool.
pick of the, wherever I wanted to go hang out after the show and, not pay for drinks. So that was fun.
And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they have gun raffles there instead of meat raffles.
It's certainly different. Yeah, it's not Minnesota, is it?
No, it's not.
no.
No, it is
That's
not.
right. Yeah.
The jar with the pickled pig's feet in the back, and the eggs. These
Yeah.
jar with eggs in it. And the old timers.
That's where when the cops get off work, they actually are still in uniform while they're kicking back a few, you'd never see, but
The home of Ed
Yeah.
Gein and
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Imagine that.
Yeah, my first radio gig was in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, which is just northeast of Green Bay. So I appreciated those dive bars, and there was about 8, 9 of them in the town, and I got into a dart league over there. And if you don't know, Wisconsin and dart leagues in bars, they take it serious, like an Olympic sport, for crying out loud. So. But yeah, I'd go on tour. We'd play on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You'd be at Vans one week, whatever. Greystone Castle was the name of another one. God, what are some of the other bars? But yeah, it was just fun. It was like I was like on tour with the dart team. There's an A, B, C, D, leagues, and I was on the top tier team. And I was like a rock star over there because they'd always ask for me to. Plug the bar and, here's a beer. And it's like, yeah, thanks. Okay, we can make this work. But
Luckily,
those
I
are
didn't have
good
to do
times.
anything physical. They just, I show up and they're like, here,
Just 12-ounce curls.
whatever you want. Yeah. Sometimes 2 at a time,
Yeah. Yeah. I ended up bartending at one of them for extra money on Sunday nights. I'd get off. I worked on Sundays. I'd work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it was funny because I'd go out Saturday nights and I'd get home at like 2, catch a nap, get up at 5:30, hit the station at 6, and the first 3 hours of programming were hour-long church programs, and they were usually recorded. So, they're always slow-paced, and it's just a priest or whatever. And so I would literally hit play and then put my head down on the console and sleep for an hour, and I would wake up when the dead air alarm would go off. So if there's no audio on a radio station after like 7 to 10 seconds, it goes beep, 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 beep. I would just pop my head up, hit the legal ID. You're listening to WDOR Sturgeon Bay. And then I hit play on the next hour one. Go right back to sleep. And I did that 3 consecutive hours. And it was, the space between the church shows, it's like so it's like not critical. There's something on the air. It's just the dead air alarm would wake me up every hour. I'd always get extra sleep on Sunday morning.
didn't you
And then I'd
guys?
go,
I was going to
What?
say, didn't you guys work with someone called Dead Eric?
We did. We did.
I did.
Yeah.
But so I was going to say Sunday nights, and I'd work till 6 at the radio station, and then I would go get something to eat, and then I'd work like 7 to midnight at this one bar, and it was just sailors because there was a shipbuilder in the Green Bay area in Sturgeon Bay, and the ship guys would just come in and drink beers and play pool.
Ooh,
So
Patrick
it
liked
wasn't
that.
too fancy.
So Patrick has already taught us our first lesson of radio, and one of the first I learned, which was work smarter, not harder. And the dead air alarm can be your friend when the program director is still passed out from the night before.
Yeah. We have there was this old guy. It happened before I got there, but the owner of the station was Ed Allen, and I worked for his son Eddie Allen. But Chad, who I worked with at this radio station, also would say. The owner would call Chad and go, "There's nothing on FM. There's dead air. There's nothing on FM." And he's like, "No, I'm looking at all the switches and the music playing." He's like, "No." And then in the background, you'd hear his wife go, "And I shut the radio off." And he'd go, "Oh, you son of a-" Just an old curmudgeon. So it's small town radio. It's awesome, right?
Oh, that's
Andy,
hilarious.
did you get the honor to do small town stuff?
Aside from the college radio I did in River Falls, not really. I kind of went right from that to, interning at 93X to the opportunity down in Des Moines, thanks to our friend Ryan Castle. He was kind of the bridge between me and Des Moines. And I went down to Des Moines and, funny story, about a month in, I got a call from Pablo asking if I'd be interested in coming back because there were some more hours available and whatever. And he's like, we had the idea that you wanted to come back at some point. It was only about a month in, like I said. So I said to him at the time, I don't know, man, I just got here and, I feel like I'm starting to make some things happen. And, I kind of turned it down, and funny enough, I never ever heard from 93X ever again. One opportunity a month in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of a sacrilegious thing to do to someone from 93X because they the leadership there was very prideful, and if you said no, they're like, okay, you're dead to me.
Yep. They were very nice if I came up for a show or whatever to my face, but as far as like opportunities down the road, it never came. So
And so, how long did you work at 93X? Was it just like 6 months or a year with Remy answering phones and doing some promotions?
Just short of a year from what I remember, because you guys had just when I first started sitting in the studio with him, you were still in the Golden Valley location off of Lilac, and then you moved into the new one in Minneapolis there, and I think it was probably a total of 8 months. I think was about how long I sat in with him, and then it was a summer show. It was an Ozfest, I believe, when Ryan Castle introduced me to some people from Des Moines that had come up for the show, including Joe Michaels, who was the music director down at Lazer in Des Moines, and we hit it off, became fast friends, and next thing you know, I'm going down to Des Moines for an actual interview, which was beers and then a rock show. And next thing you know, I'm being hired.
Like here.
Yep.
Beers and an interview.
That's it. So that's kind of how it all started for me.
It's not what you know, it's who you know sometimes. And it's
100%.
also right time, right place. And
And what you drink?
that story, it's the same with, myself, Nick Davis, Paul Dockendorf. We've had all these guys in and they all have similar stories where the phone just rings out of nowhere and you're like, oh yeah, this just fell into my lap.
Well, for
cool.
me, it was a combination of, like I said, college radio and then just pestering Remy until he finally kind of decided to take me under his wing, which was really awesome of him to do, because watching that guy work was a big deal. I learned an awful lot from watching him work every day.
Yeah, he's still killing it. He's in Sacramento. He used to be the night guy at the classic rock station in the same group that I used to work at here. But then he just got bumped up to afternoons on the classic rock. It's called the Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's still got producer Weasel, I think. So Weasel and Remy they got the band back together.
That's funny.
So you said he's out in California?
No, he does a national thing. He's in Minneapolis.
Oh,
He
okay.
does Jack. He'll do Jack, and then he'll probably voice track for I don't even know how they do it nowadays, but it's probably 5 to 10 stations.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if you ever
Yeah.
had to do that, Andy, but so he'll do national broadcasts, and they just pipe it into Sacramento and combine it with the music and the software. So
Aside from, the company I worked for launched a rock station in Clarksville, Tennessee, so I tracked that for a while.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Clarksville.
everything else that I've done nationally has been syndicated. So
Which is why it's kind of funny, because Gene's family, almost her whole family, is in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh, I
We
didn't-
go down there quite a bit, which
Small
is a
world.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Z97.5, I believe.
Okay.
is the station.
I'll have to remember that.
We'll have to listen to it. Yeah.
and you and Des Moines apparently got along really good for a long time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It came from very early on. I felt kind of just at home there.
What do you
Aside
mean?
from,
What do you mean you did?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Past tense.
I'm since retired from radio. I left.
The horse bucked him. He rode it as long as he could.
I
Just
sure
like we all
did. And it's funny you say horse, because that was sort of the image that was in my mind too when I did like the big Facebook post to let everybody know I was leaving. It was a guy on a horse, basically. And
Oh.
I had a bunch of
It's
questions.
not
How
a
you-
one pony show, but a man on a horse.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Off into the sunset was
Yeah,
was
awesome.
the actual
That's
illustration.
How many
there,
years
so.
did you do?
25 total between
Wow.
everything I did here in Minneapolis and college radio, and then everything down in Des Moines too. So yeah, 25 years.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah,
Good
same
haul.
here. We both hit that 25 years, and then you're gone.
Yeah, yeah, and for me, it was pretty apparent there at the end that it was time. I had sort of tried to plan some exit strategies in years past, and always got saved by something or another. Metallica, for example, would be a good reason why not to quit. I
Yeah.
did that for a while, but at the end there, it was apparent to me that it was time.
Well, the thing is that I've noticed, though, I mean, we've had like Don Angeron, we've had, having you on, and, Patrick has had some folks on like Neil, and it's just the thing is, it's like that was like the golden, for me at least, it was like the golden age of radio because, like Patrick, I listened to Patrick, and then Patrick would, of course, give me a whole lot of shit over the radio, and I get phone calls and stuff, but I loved it. The people that worked, the voice, the music, everything was just super cool, and now it's. Meh.
Well, I mean, I didn't really go into the weeds on that, the reasons why, but I mean, the business itself and the vibe and everything else is not what it used to be. I agree completely. Yeah. I'm lucky that I got in when I did because it was really fun and very exciting back then to work with people like Ton and Remy and Patrick certainly. And I miss those days and wish we could go back and revisit some of the fun we had then for sure.
God, yeah.
Not only on the radio, it's just the whole 90s, and that's just the time of our lives.
I think when stereo became kind of a thing in the early 70s, that's when what we call a golden age of radio. I mean, so now you had this quality sound to music, and the DJs just exploded with personality, and all of a sudden, the airwaves were alive. And so 70s, 80s, 90s, and then something happened in the 2000s with music, and I can't really put my finger Napster and iPods, and they kind of came along and killed what we had going for radio. But Andy's right. Like, we got to work at the peak of it, and when people still recognized you, cared about a DJ, we had a little bit of leeway in the late 90s, but as stations also kind of got corporate. So the mom and pops were all, you used to be able to only own like one radio, one TV, and one newspaper in any given market. But in 96, I think it was, they declassified that. So corporations could now buy up to 6 radio stations in a market. So that's also what kind of helped facilitate the end, is became kind of a stockholder thing. You were answering to corporate folks.
I thought
they were there
video
to make a
killed the
profit.
radio star.
Yeah.
And pretty much
They just, the formula for success in radio just doesn't jive with a corporate approach, so that also kind of helped it go bye-bye.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I remember back in the heyday before 93X got bought, before everybody got fired. I mean, that was like, it was a bunch of misfits that were working on the radio station, and it was great. That was like the perfect storm. And and it's never been the same, and it'll never will be.
No.
So
they could say anything they wanted to.
Well, yeah. I mean, Patrick.
When you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, you always hear, do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. So, but yeah, I think anyone in radio, if we weren't in radio, we'd either be like in jail, we'd be one of those guys requesting Slayer, or we'd be putting up drywall. But some of us knuckleheads just had enough entertainment about us that we could pull it off. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
No regrets. 25 years is a great run. And at the end, I held my head up high and said, I have absolutely no regrets. I had so much fun, got to do things that nobody else got to do. And I saw your influence. Like I said, Iowa took well to you, because every time I saw a trade about something going on in the rock radio world, a stop that artists would always make either on a tour or for an interview was Lazer in Des Moines, and Andy Hall and Lazer, Andy Hall. So I got to just know, like, you kind of became Iowa radio to me, at least from afar. So thank you.
Were you that kind of I'm not going to say big deal, but
yeah. And I agree with you that while it does take a little bit of time up front, for some reason, people just tended to gravitate to me personally. I think maybe it's a combination of the fact that I do like people. I'm not like a shut in or somebody that, just tries to avoid contact whenever humanly possible. I actually do like to get out there and press the flesh and talk to people. And that then became sort of a portent for getting the artist interviews and things like that. And then once you start doing good artist interviews, that gets back to management, and they go, well, we want to talk to him next time we come through town. So that's kind of how it all snowballed for me.
Did you have to promote Korn?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had Korn lots of times.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, lots of times. They headlined our Laser Fest show back in 2009. And then we just tons of like stadium and club shows with those guys.
No, I'm talking corn, like the corn on
Oh, you would think you'd think there'd be endorsement money like you wouldn't believe for something like that. But no, it tends to sell itself down there in Des Moines. Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
So but for 25 years, what is the average for the DJ? What's their longevity usually like? It's not that long, is it?
No, and especially in a market like Des Moines, Iowa, which is considered sort of a medium market compared to Minneapolis and St. Paul, which is one of the majors. I think if you rank the medium market size there, I think we're 71 down in Des Moines as opposed to Minneapolis, which is 14 or 16 last I checked. So you'd see guys come in for a year, maybe two, and then bounce to a different place. Some of them to bigger markets, others to wherever. Me, I just always had a reason to stick around and kept moving up the ladder, and also became very fond of that market for the reasons we talked about before. It was the people, and then the fact that our culture was growing, and we were bringing bigger shows in and getting better venues. And, I saw all of that happening. So there really was not a whole lot of reason to leave. And Patrick mentioned mom and pop corporations. That was what we had there for a very long time with Saga, who owns Lazer. I really enjoyed working for that company. It wasn't like working for one of the big dogs or the Clear Channels of the world back then.
So what year did you go down there?
I left Minneapolis in the summer of 2000.
Okay.
And then there was a short stint that I was in Fargo, North Dakota as a program director for 8 months, and then went back to Des Moines when I had the opportunity.
So Des Moines grew quite a bit, though, too, in that time, didn't it?
Sure did, yeah,
the
population-wise, and then plus
in college, got bigger. And
Arbitron Nielsen actually did a thing where they expanded our metro area, so we were actually considered bigger at that point than we were before. So we jumped from like market 90 to market 71 at a certain point.
Wow.
Did you start out at Lazer as afternoon guy, or did you start out like at nights?
So So when I first took the job, my parents thought I was nuts because I was one semester away from graduating college, like 16 credits short, and that's it, right? So I took this job and said, look, if I don't take it now, it might not be there, when the semester is over and I've graduated. Long story short, I started as a overnight and swing guy. And then got promoted to nights within about 6 months. Fun story there. The guy that I replaced in nights was named Adam Toole. I guess that's his real name. And he came up to Minneapolis to 93X to work some part-time hours, and I helped him get that gig, which then helped me get the nighttime gig at Lazer. So it kind of worked out both ways. He ended up leaving radio, obviously, but it's kind of funny how that worked out.
He was a Tool.
Oh my God.
I didn't say that.
Sure, his name wasn't
cool
Stanley.
in the active rock world. I mean, that's a
Cool was,
that's a big
you were
band.
they were pretty much kings there at the late 90s and early 2000s. Sure.
Yeah. So, if people don't know, I mean, the most coveted slot, I would say, if you're a DJ, would be afternoons. Morning shows are typically really big too. But so Andy, you actually became afternoon drive and program director. So maybe explain to people if they don't know what a program director of a radio station is or what that means. What did it entail? What is that job like?
So you're basically you're the boss of that brand. So for me, Lazer, I was in charge of the music policy and the promotions and, being in touch with the salespeople on that side of things and just, kind of also coaching talent and hiring and firing and doing everything a boss does. Right. So, I certainly had superiors above me, but, in terms of Lazer, the, buck stops with the program director, and that was me for a while there. And I also did afternoons. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and so if your ratings tank or the sales aren't there, or you're not creating opportunities for sales, you get your ass handed to you on a silver platter. So you were able to do that for a very long time. So you're probably pretty good at it.
Yeah, it worked out one way or another. There were some times there where they got a little bit nervous, but once I took the job, ratings were never a problem. It became a problem of trying to sell because, as you know, Patrick, in radio, you're dealing with other companies you're competing with, and those companies are really slashing the costs, and your company is trying to hold the line there and make the most money that they can. And it's a tough business, man. I'll tell you what. But yeah, we somehow found a way to survive, and I never got fired from radio, which is something I mentioned, holding my head up high. When I retired, I did it on my terms, which is not something 99% of radio people get to do. So
No, not so much. I got fired. So that's how mine ended.
Happens to a lot of good people, man, for sure.
Yeah, no, I was just offered a contract that was garbage, and it was actually to make less money, and I just said I'm not signing that. And we just fought for like 4 months, and then one day he just said, "You got to go, or you can sign this." And I'm like, "Nah, bye." So that's kind of how it ended for me. Bye. Then, so do you want to talk about what happened? How your retirement came about?
Well, sure. I mean, like I said, 25 years is a nice long run, and I had some reasons to consider planning an exit prior to that. But with this one, it was more about just I saw where the business was at. I saw where it was headed. Our corporation, without going too much into the weeds here and maybe getting myself into trouble, we're making some decisions at the top that I completely disagreed with. Some people that I worked with that I didn't really respect. Just thought this is the time. It was pretty obvious to me. It wasn't like I didn't stress out too much about it. Cause like I said, at the end of the day, I did everything I ever could have dreamed of doing and more in those 25 years. I felt like I accomplished a hell of a lot, and I just have no regrets walking away from that.
Well, after 25 years, you're almost ready. 20 years in one place. It's like, I want something new.
Yeah.
We're all like that, I think.
Yep. And I mean, look,
It's a quarter of your life.
it is.
Yeah.
And, I've got a family to think about and, things like that. So, doing the math really wasn't that difficult. And so I walked in on July 1st of 2024 with a letter of resignation in my hand, and sat across from a very unhappy GM who was receiving this letter from me completely unexpectedly.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh yeah. And then I was, felt like I was going to be able to finish out the day at least. Went back to my office for a little bit because she kind of, shooed me away. And then a couple hours later, had a couple of coworkers show up in my doorway, and I knew what that meant.
Oh, wow.
Basically, we're going to escort you out now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they give you the little, cardboard box to say, put your plants in here and stuff?
Luckily, when you're planning your exit strategy, you can also sort of plan your exit out of your office too. So I didn't need the cardboard box. I kind of just got up.
It was already empty.
Grabbed my backpack. Yep. Nobody noticed that the office was getting emptier and emptier over the course of about a month. So I grabbed my backpack and I walked out with them.
Slick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't put 2 weeks in? You just say, I'm resigning?
Well,
it's like that day?
No. Well, that's how it turned out, because that was their decision to let me go that day. I would have worked longer, and certainly served out whatever I needed to. But at the same time, I will tell you that, I had something already lined up, and, the sooner I could get to that and start my new chapter, the better. So it turned out okay. That
sounds like radio execs are pouty bitches.
Well,
it's like, why?
A lot of radio folks don't get to give a notice, or if they do, there's just like Andy said, they're quickly shown the door. There's a nervousness there that you're going to go rogue and you're going to play whatever the hell you want to say. You're going to say shit you're not supposed to say.
Yep.
You're going to, just sabotage and, fuck this place, and just, just be just a wild man. So,
make him look really bad for a week.
Yeah. I'm the only one that I've ever talked to that got to stay at a radio station after I gave notice. And it was like January 10 of 2011. And Wade was there in the morning. I got there like 15 minutes early just to talk to him. And I said, "Hey man, I'm quitting. I'm moving to Sacramento." And he was like, "Yeah." And I go, "No, I'm serious." He was like, just like, holy shit! I could hear the breath leave his body. He's like, "No, you're a lifer. You're the guy. You can't. No, what's going on? How can I keep you?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm in love. She's got a job offer out there. I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm going with her. I eventually married her. But I just said, here's the thing. I'm here. We got to sell the house. She starts work next week. She's going out. I'm here for like 6 to 8 weeks, and I'd like to be able to stay. And I hope you entrust me to just do my thing, and I won't, fuck around." And he came back. He was like, "I can't believe this." And I said, "Well, I got to, jump on the air. So bye." So I went in the studio, and like 12 seconds later, it's my boss and his boss's boss, Dave. They're both coming to the studio, and Dave's like, "What are you doing? Sacramento's a cow town. Don't go out there." And So they both, said, hey, okay, you keep it quiet. Don't tell anybody, you're not mentioning this on the air. When your time comes to go, you're just going to drift silently off into, oblivion. And I said, okay, we'll work that out. So I got to work up until the last day. The moving truck was just shutting its doors at our house that we had in Columbia Heights. And they called and said, we're hitting the road. Your dogs are in the living room. And I'm like, okay. So I got off my air shift. It was like 2:00. They, signed a T-shirt, all the staff signed a shirt, and, I got to hang out and talk to people for a bit. But then I'm like, I really got to fucking go. 'Cause I literally got home, picked up the dogs, put them in my car, and I hit 35W South. So it was just bang, bang. But yeah, that's how I got to exit. So I don't know if that happens a lot.
Well, no, at least the T-shirt part and the part that you got to say goodbye on amicable terms with your coworkers, because I certainly didn't have that experience. No, they were all pretty pissed at me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Before my wife came out here to work, we actually she worked in television. I worked in radio. So we had a lot of cross media friends, and we actually rented out Kieran's for one night. Don't tell Dermot this, but yeah, we went to Kieran's or something, and they have a back party room, and so we had this big shindig with all of our coworkers and bosses were there. So yeah, we did it right, and we got to do it on our terms, which was awesome.
It's such a rare thing,
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, there's so many people, so many good broadcasters that are shown the door, long before their time, and a decision made by somebody in a different city who knows nothing other than this is employee number 00194 or whatever. It's
the beans aren't adding up in your market. So
correct. Yep. It doesn't have anything to do with the person most of the time. Yes, people do screw up from time to time and get fired for it, but other
sounds
times,
like a lot of corporate jobs.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Never like that.
And what about so I've got a Metallica story. So, like, the girl that I talked about that I got married to and moved out here, our first date was October 11th, 2009. And I know that because Metallica played at the Target Center.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to interview Lars backstage. And then I went to the bar and then brought my date to a show up in the suite. So it was Metallica I think it was in the round at that point. But I got to interview Lars for like 15 minutes. I think the video still lives on YouTube if anyone wants to Google 93X Patrick Lars. But it's still there. But you, on the other hand, you have a fascinating relationship with Metallica. I'll just leave it at that. Maybe you can tell us some stories.
Sure. I mean, it all began like you're talking about, with opportunities to interview, different members of the band when they would come through town. And, when you haven't, a knack for asking interesting questions that they're not asked every day by every single radio person they talk to, they make note of that. And so they come back the next time and say, well, we'd like to talk to him. And so you're given an opportunity like that. So over the course of time, I mean, I interviewed everybody from Jason Newsted to, Robert Trujillo and Lars. And eventually then I would get James, which was kind of the unicorn for me for a long time there. But my relationship with Metallica began as simply as that. Mm-hmm. And eventually it became more involved when I was asked to participate in a project that they were putting together for, I believe it was Hardwired to Self-Destruct. So that was like their 10th studio album. So they were doing this series of questions that they wanted written for all 10 albums. So I had an opportunity. I was given this opportunity to write questions for specific albums, for specific members, and it was all encompassing. So I went crazy on this thing. I spent a good week writing these questions, and then all this audio was given to radio stations who wanted to participate in this marketing thing. So knowing that I actually wrote these questions and it was like an interview by proxy for me, I took everything, all the material, and I wasn't just using little snippets like most radio people would. I actually put together my own radio special using all of that stuff, and it was all encompassing all 10 albums of the band, and I aired it in different portions, like leading up to a show that we had at the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa in 2017. And so that got their attention, along with the fact that we had the idea to turn our station into Metallica 103.3 for a whole day,
Cool.
meaning all the imaging, all the music, everything was Metallica. And so the band noticed that as well. And when it came time to deciding, because bands typically will do, like bigger bands will do like they'll do radio specials that syndicate to stations all over the country and the world to help promote a new album. And so a lot of times they'll bring on like a celebrity to like host it and ask the band questions and things like that. Well, for Hardwired to Self-Destruct, I was one of 2 people that they were considering to be like the host of this thing. And it was a big deal for me because the last guy who did one of these was Dave Grohl. So they came to me because of all the cool stuff I had been doing with them. And the only other person they were considering for that particular radio special was my good friend Corey Taylor from the band Slipknot and Stone Sour. And Corey Taylor got that job. So
yeah, of course.
I called Corey immediately after I found out about that. I said, "You motherfucker." I was very happy for him. And I thought to myself, maybe my time will come at some point. And it certainly did when Metallica decided to put together a box set for the Master of Puppets album. Back in 2017, they flew me out to Metallica HQ in San Rafael, California, where I got to hang out with Lars Ulrich for the day and interview him about Master of Puppets. And again, an opportunity to come up with really unique questions, and this time just for Lars. But we turned it into an hour-long radio special.
So did you happen to do like kind of these interviews, one-on-ones with each member of the band and then kind of piece it together to make it, kind of cohesive for each member on what they thought, kind of similar questions? Or
in regards to the special that I put together? So basically I didn't get to actually ask the questions to the guys. They had somebody else do that, but I wrote all the questions. So again, it was like an interview by proxy and it was all my material. So I did the narration, I pieced it all together, put some music in between, and it was pretty well done for just a local production.
That's actually outstanding. I mean, that's
great.
It's inventive, super inventive.
Yep.
Especially, and it's, if you're looking at 2017, I mean, in the scope, it's not really that long ago. When Patrick was DJing, I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But so Patrick's offspring comes full circle and asks Dad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So my daughter, she's into Stranger Things, Andy, and I'm sure you appreciate this because the Metallica. There's a whole new resurgence of Metallica fans because of that show.
Thanks to Eddie, yeah.
Yeah. My 10-year-old daughter says on the way to gymnastics, "Can you play Master of Puppets?" And I was like, yeah.
Master of Puppets, mind you, not the Black Album, which is, but
Yeah. And then she the next week goes, "Can you take me to a Metallica concert?" And I said, yes, I can do that. So I've got this 10-year-old that's all about Metallica. So actually I picked him up from school yesterday when it was the 40th anniversary of Master of Puppets, and Disposable Heroes was on. I'm like, "Hey, Brindley, this is the same band and it's from the same album." And I was telling her, like, I remember when this came out because I had a Walkman and they didn't know what that was. And I was like, I went to the store.
He walked to school with a man.
I went to the music store and got a cassette tape. And I think I still remember it was $4.98 back then or whatever it was. And I had the $5 bill.
What's a cassette tape, Daddy?
So I bought it and I just told her, I just listened to it over and over and over and over again until the thing wore out. But now my kid wants a Walkman because she thinks it's cool to be able to walk around without a cell signal and listen to music.
How about that?
I don't know if you can get cassette tapes anymore, but you can certainly get the radio.
You can't. I mean, it's funny because I still somewhere in the house here I still have a bunch of cassette tapes, but nothing to play them on. But you remember how to fix them? You would stick the pencil.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it was fixable.
My dad bought me the Warning from Queensryche for Christmas and a Walkman. And I probably wore that out too, Patrick.
Yeah. Andy, so you did not get the master, or you got the Master of Puppets box set, right? Or did Corey Taylor get that one?
No, he did the Hardwired to Self-Destruct special, and he also got to go to HQ for that. So I was pretty jealous. But then when I had my own opportunity, it was with the Master of Puppets special. And then from that on, I was all involved in all of their box sets, which have come out since. As either a voiceover or a host. Sometimes David Frick from Rolling Stone would actually host it, and I would be asked to narrate. So being involved one way or another is pretty cool. And the most recent project I've done with them was their Load box set, which came out, was it last year, I believe? So we did a radio special, and I actually did interview all 4 members for that.
Nice.
And then I just did an interview. Here's a spoiler for you guys. So Metallica will eventually be doing a Reload box set. And part of that radio special will be including Jason Newsted, and that was his last studio album with the band. So the band actually okayed, greenlit Jason to be a part of one of their radio specials as a former member. So, and that was an idea I had in talking to the guy who produces these specials. I threw it out there one day and just said, wouldn't it be cool to get Jason's take on some of this stuff too? Because he was there for that, and it was his last full studio album, and the band greenlit it. So I had a nice 45-minute conversation with Jason Newsted not that long ago, and we're going to chop that up and put it in the radio special.
Wow, and that's awesome. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you're looking at nostalgia. This is coming towards the end of their career. If you look at how many years they've been doing this, that's outstanding, because that was a big, major part of what they've accomplished, I think.
Absolutely.
With that bass player.
Yeah. And, I mean, it all begins with Cliff Burton, certainly, who is still revered. And, one of the coolest moments I remember from doing that Master of Puppets box set special and sitting there across from Lars was talking about the fact that they were including as part of that box set the very last show Cliff ever played with them before the bus accident, which ultimately claimed his life.
Right.
And asking Lars what it's like to sit down and listen to that show, knowing that that's the last notes Cliff ever plays with his fingers, and that was a very powerful moment. I remember sitting in that studio.
Wow, no shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a very cool experience overall being in HQ, by the way, which is the all-encompassing world of Metallica, recording studio, merch shop, offices, rehearsal space with all the banners. You've probably seen that before. Hanging above me in that rehearsal space was Doris, the head of the Justice, the big concrete Justice head. And I'm like, if that thing falls on me right at this very moment, what a way to go.
So you have a lot of signed swag?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we over the course of time, Metallica have been so generous to me. I mean, my crown jewel is probably my, platinum album that they put my name on. And,
really?
Stuff like that. You cannot. And like on my birthday back in 2020, when S&M 2 came out, they sent me one of the little violins that was on part of the stage set, and it's numbered to 100. And they sent me one of those for my birthday. Numbered to 100. Yeah. I mean,
you made quite the impression. I mean,
so I'm part
Yeah.
of the family now, which is really cool. And, even though I'm out of radio, I still get the phone calls to be a part of their stuff.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome.
So, yeah. It is
I
a
got
really
some swag I got to show off before we get off here. I won't do it now, but I'll wait till I have to go get to the bathroom or something, but I'll grab something that's hanging on my wall.
love to see that, man.
and share that.
Hell yeah.
Fuck Dave Mustaine. How about that? I just want to make sure we got that part in there. He's not invited to any box sets. I think they've kind of patched things up over the years.
They have.
From what
It's interesting how that.
didn't they get on stage and play? I remember seeing. I was just happened to be watching something, and I flipped the channel, and I'm like going, "Oh, Metallica!" And I'm looking over, I'm like, Dave, no, and I just literally had to go.
It was like 2011, I think.
Yeah.
And he came out on stage and actually played with them. It was, pretty cool moment.
Have you heard the new Megadeth track?
I was just going to ask you if you heard his redo.
Like, oh, yeah. This is like kind of a big old late middle finger because he's got a riff from Metallica on his new Megadeth track.
Well,
that's very, very similar. I can't remember the name of the tracks, but
he redid Ride the Lightning for the album. And it is just not the same.
No,
I love Dave, but come on, man. It just doesn't, it doesn't compare. The original.
So you must know Aaron Michelson then.
Oh yeah, of course. Q Prime. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Aaron and everybody there at Q Prime is awesome. Aaron used to be a local for us with Warner Brothers. And so that's how I got to know him, because he'd make trips down to Des Moines pretty regular basis. And then he worked for Q Prime, and he calls me the Metallica Whisperer. So if you ever talk to Aaron, ask him who the Metallica Whisperer is and see if he drops my name. He should.
Yeah. Shortly after I went out there, he went out here to San Francisco to work for Q Prime, and he represented Black Keys. He represented Metallica. So I used to get all sorts of those cool little, hookup things and inside information, and he's still killing it with Q Prime out here.
Yeah, Aaron's such a good dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I miss talking to the phone calls that you get on a Monday morning, like, hey, we got this hot new single. Are you going to give it some spins this week? So he was always a phone call that I enjoyed because he, wasn't a total fake dink, but he usually represented pretty good music. So
It's a great band name if you ever
Fake
you know,
Dink.
it's a punk band for sure, but it's Fake Dink.
Yeah. Another guy that we all know, I think, has been out to HQ a couple of times, and I think Metallica considers him one of the guys too. Is Pablo from '93? I think Pablo has done a couple of those specials.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember which ones off the top of my head. I can't remember now, but yeah, Pablo's had an incredible career, which continues to this day. And he's good friends with a lot of the same bands. We ran in all the same circles. He's like super good friends with the Five Finger Death Punch guys and stuff like that. So yeah.
So what's it like in I'm sure like American Head Charge for me, they were my pals. Slipknot, is that to you?
Yeah. So that's another.
Were they just a shitty local band when you got down?
Listen, man. So when I got down there, the radio war had just ended between Lazer and an alternative station called The Dot, and The Dot got bought out by Clear Channel and turned into a top 40 station. Lazer essentially won the war, right? So Slipknot was a Dot band. Lazer was not a Slipknot station. So when I went down there were still some pretty raw feelings about that. But I'm a dumb kid from Minneapolis who doesn't know anything. So I went down there and started making connections at local bars like Harry Mary's, for example. That's where I met Paul for the first time. And then eventually would meet Joey and Corey and everybody else, Clown, and became very friendly with them over the course of time. It didn't take a whole lot of time for them to realize that I wasn't part of the bullshit that had been going on there in Des Moines for so long. And Lazer then did become a very pro Slipknot station, and I was a part of that, having launched a metal show, which was ironically, inspired by Neil Hins, who was your recent guest on this podcast. If it wasn't for the Extreme Metal Shop, I'm not sure I would have ever started Aggro Culture, which was our metal show down at Lazer in Des Moines.
Oh my God, that's a perfect name.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Speaking of corn earlier, right?
Right.
That is great.
Aggro Culture, yep. So that was our show that we began, and through that we became very close with the Slipknot guys. And to this day, I still talk to Corey on a somewhat regular basis, check in, see how he's doing.
Oh man, I gotta do this because that's outstanding. I mean, one of the coolest people I've never met him, but every interview that I've seen, all the stuff he does, I mean, you look at him, it's like, God, that guy's just cool.
Yeah.
Just cool.
Yeah.
You should watch it more often, Brett.
No.
You wouldn't, you would probably believe me if I told you that he is actually a super down to earth dude. Hasn't forgotten where he came from.
That's awesome.
Yep,
I mean, that's really important. I mean, you get a lot of these stars that all of a sudden get thrown in the limelight, and the next thing you know, they're too cool for school.
I'll never forget, getting those phone calls from him on a random Monday night at 11:45 p.m. Dude, we're rolling. He loved to bowl, and so we would basically have the run of like the Merle Hay lanes.
Bowling. He would awesome.
They would close the place down, right? But then Corey would walk in and be like, "We're rolling," and then they would open up the lanes for us, and we could play till whenever we wanted. So Merle Hay lanes were ours for the longest time. I'd get a random call late night. He'd be like, "We're rolling." So we'd go. Yeah. Corey's a great guy, man. Long time friend for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk hockey. You got some sort of connection with hockey going on. I don't know that part about it. I saw it in your bio.
Yeah.
But what's your relationship with hockey going on?
A long time love of the sport, obviously. I grew up playing like a lot of people here in this neck of the woods did. Yep. But I've been going to the Minnesota State High School hockey tournament since I was a real little kid. My dad used to pull me out of school. I think 85 or 6 was our first year that we went. And I've been, going every year. As you know, it's really hard to get tickets to the event. I think the waiting list is now 12 years long.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely, the number one thing in Minnesota. It's almost like in Texas,
football.
Football. Mm-hmm. The football championships are the big thing here. It's hockey. I mean, hockey.
On those AA games, they're selling out the Grand Casino Arena, formerly XL, but to see that place full, thanks to high school hockey is really something special. Yep. And I enjoy going back each and every year. Hockey, I've also continued to be involved via my experience with the Des Moines Buccaneers USHL team. I've been their public address announcer. This is my 14th season.
wow.
So being up close and having the best seats in the house for that gig is pretty special as well. So yeah, the game of hockey is it's a lifelong love affair for me, and being able to be involved at age 46, almost 47, as I am now.
And Patrick is as well.
Patrick is a coach.
No.
No,
Well,
I just started
it's a ref.
refereeing.
Or a ref, sorry.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, probably the same
Yeah.
thing.
Have you been watching Shoresy to brush
Oh,
up on
God,
your
yeah.
chirps and
Oh yeah. No, I got it all. I love that show too.
Me too, man.
But yeah, like it was July of 2024. I was like, you know what? I could probably do this. I could do it because I had a hip replacement and I didn't want to play. And plus, I was a goalie, so I'm not rich. I mean, I don't have $5,000 laying around for pads. So I was like, but looking at the pace of the refs, I was like, I could do that and that'd be fun. And so I got the gear and tried it out, and I love it. And so I've been doing it for over a year and a half now. Probably got 150 games under my belt. I just got USA Hockey qualified, certified, whatever you want to say.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Well, what's even cooler is that Patrick, when he refs his ex-wife, her hockey team, if you can believe that.
What?
Yeah.
yeah, so
That sounds
there is
made up. I'm sorry.
No, there's a rink here. It's in Roseville, California. There's a Roseville here too.
Yeah.
And our daughters were taking skating lessons, and that would be on Saturdays. And I would have my daughters like Wednesday through Saturday. So I would go to the rink, but sometimes my ex-wife was playing on Saturdays too, because her league is a Saturday league, and she also does some Thursday nights. But anyway, so I was just there at the rink, and she was playing, and I was just one of those moments where, like, not only could I do that, we had been divorced for, I don't know, 3-4 years at that point. We were co-parenting well, and we get along, fine. So I just said, I'm gonna ref. And then when I got the gig, I told her, like, hey, just so it's not awkward, you might show up on the ice and I'm going to be standing there in my stripes. And she's like, what? And so I think it was
You didn't wear that
first,
in the bedroom.
Yeah. Not
Or-
in cosplay.
Cosplay.
Patrick wore the stick.
But so the first game I refed that she was in, actually, she got tripped and I called the tripping penalty on the other dude. And then so I think she looked at me kind of like, oh, okay, you're gonna be cool. So, I recently called another dude trip for tripping her. That was like about a month ago. I refed a game that she was in. So I'm fair. I'm partial. Like I hardly even. I'm too busy looking at shit to even
Worry what it is, yep.
Who's that?
When are you going to get in the announcer's box?
That'd be cool.
That'd
I mean,
be
look,
don't have
that's
anything
something
here.
you could certainly do
Yeah.
with your unique skill set, I would think.
Yeah. They don't have. The good news is Folsom is the Folsom prison, Johnny Cash thing, but Folsom's actually a really kind of upper tier community. It's kind of like Edina. But they're actually building a huge facility with like 4 ice rinks. They're going to attract a lot of college and maybe some UHL and AHL teams and opportunities, and they're just building it. So I think in about 3 years there might be an opportunity for some PA stuff like that, and I would totally get into that.
That's one thing I sort of stumbled into at one point, and thanks to a guy that also worked in radio in the building I was working in at the time, and he was a morning show host and had been the PA announcer for the Buccaneers for like 19 seasons. So you never know when those opportunities may arise, but I will tell you, I not for 1 minute have I ever regretted jumping into that world and being involved that way. It's a different reward, of an experience. It's a lot of fun.
I have asked Adam Abrams to come on the podcast, and he declined, but he does the Wild and the Twins now.
You bet he does. Yeah, he's great.
But he used to be at Cool 108, and he got the gig with the Wild, I think year 1. And I think I was just I didn't even fathom to go try out for something like that. But I totally would now. And they've got Oakland A's are playing in Sacramento until they build their new stadium in Las Vegas. So I was trying to reach out to folks, but I got shot down, and I think everyone just moved here from Oakland and kept their gigs. But I would like to do baseball out here too. That would be fun.
Every once in a great while, they have like a major team will have some sort of a tryout. And the most recent example I can think of is the kid that got the Minnesota Timberwolves gig a few years ago, right?
Oh yeah.
So he actually went in and tried out cold, like he was nobody.
Literally just showed up and
and tried out and made it through all the different cuts that they made, and then eventually became their guy. And so you just never know when these opportunities may present themselves. But I agree with Patrick and what he said earlier about a lot of times it's who you know. And so if you have an in like that, and certainly working in radio, you have that sort of, that reputation. Anyway.
We had a guy on, Jim Cunningham.
He was an announcer for.
Well, yeah, he did stuff for the Minnesota Twins for almost 25 years, and he did that, and I think it was the Minnesota Wild Hockey. He did both of those as their entertainment guy. So
like the guy that's in the stands, like, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's fun too, man. I mean, it's a completely different gig, obviously.
We even had their dentist on.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
it was great.
A lot of teeth.
Yeah. It was like, we're on call. We had to go to the games in case somebody lost their grill. I mean, put them back in,
Yeah, Jack Hughes, after winning gold, has said like every dentist in the country has called him or emailed him.
Dude, yes. One of the most iconic shots you'll see in your lifetime will be that Jack Hughes shot. I mean, that's an amazing.
He's not getting that tooth fixed. He's leaving that like that.
Isn't it great though? Like, that's
he's such a hockey player.
Oh man,
it's almost like, remember that commercial, the two hockey players? How's she going? I'm going to the dentist and he's down the street. Oh, this guy's good.
And the puck went in the net. I was like, I just sat there. I was like, no,
can't believe it. Yeah.
No, and then like 5-10 seconds later, I was like, "Holy!"
I know, it just
blood running down his face too.
Yeah, he did, but it was just when he got jacked in the face on a high stick in the corner, and I mean, you could see, his teeth were busted, broken, and he's bleeding. He's like, "Nope, I'm playing," and he's playing through that pain. And it just, when I saw that pass, and he just stepped back and he's falling backwards. I mean, I thought he was going to land on his ass, and just the perfect pass. And you could see the goalie turn his head, and you could just see in his eyes, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That was, you could see it. He turned and looked, and he just could not. It was great. It was one of the best experiences. And I remember watching the 1980 game when I was a kid, watching that and watching him win. And I watched this game, and it was akin to that. I was just like almost tears in my eyes. Literally, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen watching.
That's why we don't have any tissues, Stacy.
Yeah, because you're crying so much.
That iconic shot of Jack O'Callahan's, straddling the other guy on the ice was sort of like that picture of the 1980 team. Jack Hughes certainly has eclipsed that and then some. I mean, who would have thought that this team could come in and beat the Canadians like they did?
Yeah, the Canadians.
Now, my question is how do you feel if you're Connor Hellebuck having to go back up to Winnipeg after all that crowd? How does that feel?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Did they boo him? Did they cheer him? I don't have no idea how that goes.
Well, the women won too.
Sure they did.
It was great all the way around. For hockey, United States hockey,
huge.
The greatest, this is the greatest decade when it comes to sporting events for I think for the United States.
I'm glad you brought the women up because they were they were dominant through the Olympics.
They were asked to go to the White House, but they had another prior commitment, so eventually they're going to end up there.
There you go.
And it could be really cool to see that. But even they won in overtime and just in spectacular form. Just akin to the men's. It's just like back to back. How this will never happen again in our lifetime.
Right?
Just never. I'll be old and dead, going waiting for the next one to do it again.
Or maybe in 4 years.
Look, man, this might be the turn. You might be turning the corner now for USA Hockey.
Who did the ladies play for the win?
They played Canada.
Yeah. Both Canada. So all of them are going back.
Yep.
So Canada.
Don't go up north.
Canada just right now is just
not happy.
Their face smushed into United States' butt.
A Canadian team hasn't won the cup for how many? Going back to 90?
Yeah.
Like 30 some years. Yep. That's awesome. Even though like each American squad is probably 60% Canadian players.
Well,
so it's not, just because Florida wins doesn't mean Florida won anything. It's Canadian kids.
Shut up, Patrick. Florida wins.
What about Andy? What about the Minnesota or the Iowa Wild? Any relationship with that, either on or off the ice? Or
So
just as a
I've done a
fan, or-
little bit of I've done a few things with them just in like a fill-in thing. So if like their normal PA guy is out, I'll get the phone call and they'll ask me if I'm interested. Same with the Iowa Wolves, the G League team down there in Des Moines. I've done some PA for them as well. So I mean, I'm a guy that, if somebody needs a voice for something, they'll call, which is pretty cool.
You might. So I'm going to name drop. You might recognize or may not know the name Chad Evers.
Chad Evers.
So he and I played hockey together from youth going up, and then he played at Iowa State or Iowa. He's actually in the Iowa Hockey Hall of Fame, but he was an AHL linesman in Des Moines for 23 years and just
Holy
retired.
shit.
That's probably where I would know him from then. Yeah. That
So
I
if you
knew
were
it.
at an Iowa Wild guy, Iowa Wild game. He was on one of the blue lines. as a
Okay.
linesman for a long
Interesting.
time.
Speaking of youth hockey, Patrick, I don't know how many people have actually seen that picture of you in the goalie gear back in the day, but I was one of the lucky
Sweet
people
flow.
who actually got to see that picture. Yeah. I don't remember why or how, but I just remember that picture, and it's pretty speaking of iconic images there in terms of the world of hockey, that's Patrick in the goalie gear.
Yeah, right.
What do you call those pads on the legs?
Pads.
Just leg pads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pillows.
Patrick, could you do the
Goalie
splits?
pads.
Could you do the splits?
I could almost do the split.
Whoa.
but
Wow.
almost. There's a tree trunk in the way. No, I'm
Tripod.
Yeah, he needed a third pad.
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, good God. No, he didn't.
That was cold. No, ice makes everything cold down there. It's not
To
not
get
a hang
icing?
out down there.
He didn't need a
Yeah.
third pad. He's on ice. Duh, shrinkage.
100%.
So what now for
Um,
you? You came up to Minnesota. You come up every year.
Yeah, so my brother and I will hit up the AA games. We go for all 3 days if we're able to, and this year's
Just
no
as a fan, you're not
exception, so-
working or anything.
Not working at all. Nope. A good buddy of mine named Paul actually runs the music up there, so we might go visit him. He's up there in a working capacity, but for us, it's just go down and enjoy some hockey and
All right.
no
So do you
pressure.
still have
So-
family up here?
Oh yeah. So my mom still lives in Blaine. My siblings, 2 of my 3 siblings live in Duluth. One lives in Forest Lake. So they're all still
So you
here.
do all the rounds.
Yeah.
Do you have
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot
Oh,
of people
for
you meet?
sure.
100%. You got
Yeah.
to. And then get all the Minnesota goodbyes, which take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah.
I
So,
betcha.
So here's the one question though. So at the hockey tournament, what's the best game you've seen so far? Because I mean, even like the championship games are great, but some of those games getting there are even better. What's
I
the
will
best one you
say,
saw?
for me, being in attendance for the multiple overtime game between Apple Valley and Duluth East
Oh,
back in 1996 was a huge highlight.
How many overtimes was that? That was
I think it was 5.
It was. I
Wow.
mean, literally,
4 or 5.
I remember watching that, and it was never ending. And you could watch the guys, and they're barely.
Dude, Jello. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like 1:30 in the morning when it finally ended, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember it was 4 or 5 overtimes. Can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it had to be 5. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a lot.
Uh-huh.
A lot. And I remember that when the game was over, they could barely throw the sticks. Went up about a foot and dropped, and it fell on the ice.
So who won that?
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley did. Yeah.
And then that was kind of like the Miracle on Ice situation. That was not the championship. That was the semifinal.
Yeah.
So they had to go back the next night and beat, I think, Edina maybe
Edina
for the
yeah.
title,
Yep.
and they beat them. So they actually won the title after a 5 overtime thriller. Yeah. Yeah, it was
Oh, yeah.
crazy. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, watching some of the highlights, was it Edina? There was some trick shot that won the game. I mean, did you see that?
So then
What
the
did-
section final against Wyzetta. So yeah, the kid dumps the puck around the boards.
Is that the
and
one I sent
somehow
you, Patrick?
bounces up on top of the net and then kind of dangles there, and then the kid comes over and boop knocks it in the net. It was one of the craziest things I've ever.
Oh, that was for this Patrick. That was for
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Section
I sent
final.
I sent it to him, and I was like, I thought it was a long time ago or something.
No, that one was real recent.
Yeah.
that was
that's
like,
fresh.
what, a day or two ago?
No,
Or
it would have
maybe-
been like a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
a couple
now,
weeks
'cause now
ago.
the
Oh,
tournament's
that's
in,
right,
in
right,
progress.
right.
I had to watch that a couple of times because it was like weird because those kids look like men. They
Yeah.
look like men.
Yeah.
And then
That's because you're a shrimp.
I know. I go to, I teach at different various schools. When I go to the high schools, Mounds View, those guys, they're just big. Everybody's big.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, especially nowadays. I mean, I remember when I graduated in 1985, I graduated high school. And, the kids weren't really big. They were athletic, but they weren't big. But now you have all the protein, you have all the, powders and
training programs and everything else too. I mean, they're faster and bigger. So it's, I'd be scared as hell if I was out there.
Their workout spaces are incredible.
Yeah.
Well,
It's true.
no, Brett looked big because of his hair.
Yeah, I had big hair. Yeah.
Speaking of hair, I don't know if this is
there. It is. That's the one.
Look at that. Sweet
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's a great picture, man.
Yeah,
God, that's great.
You even had the hockey hair. That is amazing.
He would have made the list. You know how somebody does that list every year, the best hockey hair from the tournament?
Yep.
Yeah.
That would have been in the list for sure.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I go work at middle schools, and I know every single one of the hockey players, their hair, just by their hair. I can just tell the way they wear their hats.
You bet.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you play hockey, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
How do you know? It's
So
like,
Well, you got the mullet going on, and that is the hockey hair. I mean, it's
Enjoy it while you can, boy.
yes, exactly. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, it was a sweet marketing trick back in the day, but like Skoll and Copenhagen used to pass out those painter's caps, so those painter's caps are always kind of the cool thing when I played in the 80s. And
oh yeah.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's the stocking caps, but they wear them on the very top of their head.
Yeah.
And then they wisp their hair. Now it's like a wispy hair type thing.
It's like Farrah Fawcett style.
What you guys?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like it's almost they come out and gee, I can't believe your hair smells terrific.
It's incredible when they introduce the teams at the state tournament on camera, and this guys skate out to the blue line and right on camera. And now everybody's got to have like a shtick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a different hairstyle for sure. But then they all have like the deadpan look, or like the one guy today I saw from, I don't know where maybe he was from Matamidi or something. He came gunning at the camera and he stopped real quick and he sprayed the camera. So the whole rest of the lineup, it's all just water on the camera. You can't even see anything. Yeah. Hilarious.
Oh, perfect.
Because the rest of the team is like, God, you jack.
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
I was going to do that. The second guy. Oh, I should have done that.
The whole rest of the team basically went up to the camera, was like, "Hi, Mom."
So this is going to air after the tournament, so we can we're going to do a genie kind of a guest thing here. So in AA, it's got to be who do you think is going to win?
I think Minnetonka is the best team in the field. They're certainly number one rated, but there's a couple of teams. I think this year AA more than any other year is more wide open. I think Edina could slide in there as a 3 seed. Moorhead is a great team again this year. So those are the
great,
three.
It's great on the seeding because Minnetonka's on they're on Minnetonka and Edina are on opposite ends of the bracket.
They are.
They're not going to take each other out before the championship.
No,
game.
and chances are you're going to see an Edina Moorhead semifinal in the bottom bracket, which is going to be really great. Like I can't wait for that game. I hope.
Well, and the thing is that, and what I love about hockey now, as an old guy now, fat old guy, is that back in the day it was always Bloomington, Edina. You had some of the private private schools, Hill Murray,
Rochester,
Rochester, Duluth East started coming in a little bit, but you never saw Eden Prairie, you never saw Anoka, you never saw any of those other teams. St. Louis Park, yeah. So and it's
I don't think they've ever been there, have they?
They have actually.
Oh, they have.
They have, but
when they had Eric Rasmussen, he went pro.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric Rasmussen was part of. I think it was 1993 or 94. We got there.
Gotcha.
Didn't Mounds View and Irondale have a time then?
Well, Mounds View, I think, went a couple times, but they ended up getting cannibalized by Hill Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Hill Murray kept grabbing the players.
Irondale had a pro.
So Irondale had a good team for a few years there.
In the early 80s, Irondale was actually a pretty good hockey squad.
Who did we have?
Bigstad.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, but it was always the same teams. You had Edina, and when I was a midget and I played a traveling team, and we had Edina white and green. So there's 2A traveling team midgets, and they would take their varsity and junior varsity players that weren't seniors and put them on the traveling team because they got to play more games.
Oh, sure.
So nobody could ever beat them because these are the best of the best. in one of the best schools out there going. And, our A midget team, in fact, the coach called our coach and said, sorry about the lack of talent we left you. So that went very far. So when we played the game, we had the old timers game. So they had the old guys playing the varsity. He put all his varsity players on the JV team, and we played the JV team, and we beat them 6-1.
Did you?
Oh, we destroyed them.
Wow.
It was, and then our coach called Coach Daly and was like, well, thanks for leaving us the best players.
So who's the all-time best Minnesota high school hockey team?
Ooh, boy, that's a tough one, man. Because there've been such.
I know zero about hockey.
In the early 90s, it was like those Jefferson teams were some of the best of all time. 92, 93, like those guys were unbeatable. Like, and there was like multiple NHL players, multiple D1 players, multiple NHL guys. Nowadays, I mean, in the modern day. I don't know. I think Duluth East has to be up there for sure. Those teams with
Minnesota does put a lot of people in NHL.
I think eventually, they kids go from high school hockey to junior hockey, and then from junior hockey to college, and then from there they get drafted. But I'd say more than any other state in the country, I think Minnesota puts more in the NHL than any other state.
Where do all the high school kids want to go to college to play hockey?
Well, it used to be Minnesota because they used to only recruit Minnesota kids. That's back in the Doug Woog days.
Oh, that's
now it's all changed. They bring them in from all over. But if you're a hockey player and you're serious about it and you think, you have a future and you could go to the NHL someday, you're probably looking at any one of the Big Ten schools, really. But then, you also have the Michigan State, Notre Dame's, and then the Hockey East teams like Boston U and Boston College.
And you remember back in the day, like 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it was Harvard, it was Boston, it was the U of M. Then you had North Dakota was a big one. Yep. You had Michigan. I mean, you had some of these.
DC, Colorado.
Colorado was also. So you had all those college teams were where you wanted to go. Now it's changed where you're right. Michigan is a big player. You still have Boston. You still have the U of M, but St. Cloud State started coming up and started beating. UMD started coming up.
What's unfortunate?
I mean, just all of a sudden, all these other colleges started competing with the U of M and started taking the players. So they really did even the playing field then.
It sucks as a fan of the former WCHA because I miss those days. That conference was, that was an amazing conference of hockey back then with the St. Cloud States, the North Dakotas, the UMDs, all of them were all together with Michigan Tech, Alaska Anchorage, and things like Northern Michigan too. And nowadays, because there's so much money in it, Big Ten has become its own entity, and sort of those other, WCHA squads have now become NCHC, basically, is what that conference is. And it's more of a regional thing now. So kids that go to North Dakota, it's the kids from North Dakota and from northern Minnesota and, places like that. They're the ones they want to go to North Dakota. But back in the day, that would have been a really big deal to get a scholarship to be a fighting Sioux, so.
And I remember when I went to college, my first round of college at St. Cloud State, back in 85 to 89. In 85, they didn't really have a hockey team. They did, but it was literally football players on skates, and all they wanted to do was just crush people. They'd goon it up. They didn't care if they won. I mean, it was like the Hanson brothers was like, and that's kind of how it was. Until the Herbie Brooks years. And then everything changed where he brought St. Cloud State into that fold and started, recruiting good players. Because when I was up there, and I remember trying out for that team, and I just kind of went, no. It was bad. I could stick handle, and I could outskate a lot of the guys, but it was an absolute free-for-all. And it was like, you could tell that there was nothing going on, and even people that that I knew when I tried out, and they're like, you'll have more fun playing on the bar leagues than this, because this is just, it's bad. And it was
your intramural team off in the corner.
And then I went and played with the bar leagues.
He got that joke, I hope.
Yes, indeed, he did. But then when I played for the bar leagues, it was right. I had more fun. I focused on school, and I was like, oh, thank God, because it was You know, some of the guys that I watched that actually made the team, a few of them actually quit the team shortly after because it was bad. But again, when Herbie Brooks came in, he took a really crappy, hockey team, hockey program, and he turned it around. In fact, we had to play when I was even trying out, we had to play for Apollo High School's hockey rink. Because there was no hockey rink at St. Cloud State. There wasn't for their team.
Ice time's pricey too. So
I mean that should have been a red flag right there. That the college didn't have a hockey arena, but the high school did. So, when Herbie came in, then they built the hockey rink, and things got better.
That's one thing I miss about moving to Iowa. Is I had a hockey rink, 2 blocks from my house growing up in Blaine, and every neighborhood had one of those outdoor rinks, and they don't have those down in Iowa.
My buddy made one in his backyard because big pond. Yeah, his son played hockey, so he's just
they could have thrown you guys on one of those. I mean,
No, absolutely.
The old. Well, we had lakes too. We had all the lakes,
ponds and all that.
all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember playing a lot of boot hockey as a kid for sure.
Yeah.
I got traumatized playing broom ball.
Oh, broom ball's fun
and
too.
back when I was a kid, I remember her name too, and she just went back and hit me right in the face.
Did you say
knocked
her?
me down. Yeah, it was a her. Yep. Gretchen Fold, and she just whacked me in the face, and I'll never forget that. And I was like, I'm not ever doing that again. And that's why I had known nothing about hockey. I have no knowledge. My mom's Japanese too, so they're not going to send me in that. I don't want my poor son, my poor little tiny kid to get squished. So that was
got to be careful who you wave a broom in front of.
Exactly.
You never know.
Somebody might take flight.
They may. They just may.
Yep.
Dang.
So how many days are you going to be here for playing?
So I'll be here for the entirety of the tournament, which ends on Saturday night. So the championship for the big schools is 7:00 p.m. on Saturday.
Can you go to that?
Yep. And then I'll head back on Sunday at some point.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
When you drove?
I drove. Yeah, it's 3.5 hours. It's not too bad.
Oh, that's nothing.
I know that drive like the back of my hand, having lived in Des Moines now for 25 years and gone back and forth, variety of times.
So where are you going to go? Where are you still headed here? Where do you got to visit? You have to jump around a little bit still?
I mean, no, because tomorrow's a full day. Well, you'll be seeing this after the fact, but Thursday is the full day of games, and then Friday is just the evening session, and then Saturday there's a third place game if you want to go to it, and then a championship.
So do you have to take a whole week off of work to?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I've been off of work since Monday morning. I drove up here on Tuesday, and I'll stay until Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So,
Whole family?
What's work for you nowadays? What is work?
Well, that's the big secret. So I don't talk a whole lot about it, but I will say that's public sector and it's law enforcement related.
So we had
a conversation.
We had a little conversation about it. So we're brothers in arms.
Yeah, we all have something in common.
We do. So yep, I didn't want to get too much into it, but I definitely I will tell you it's public sector. Great job for a guy like me, right?
I will say his early dream.
What's
his
that?
early dream came around, and
He's taking all his pictures.
he's reliving
off the
it.
wall.
I am. Yes, I'm coming full circle now with this career of mine.
That's good.
Before I stumbled into radio, that is a sweet
That's
piece of
really cool.
memorabilia
So,
right there.
This is this was 10/13/09. I don't know if you can see the date on the.
Yeah, we
Oh
can.
man,
That was the first date of my wife and I's first date, and her best friend's husband worked at Target Center. Like he ran the events. He was some sort of upper echelon, whatever. So we occasionally got some sweet Timberwolves tickets.
Yeah.
But they made this. I think Metallica did this for every arena so this was a gift to the arena.
wow.
And maybe they got 2 of them. I don't know, but maybe this is the only one. But so they would. This is like all unique. Every
That is
everyone is
sweet.
different. So for our wedding gift, they got this from Metallica, or they stole it from the Target Center, one of the two.
Nice.
And they framed it nice for us, and they gave it to us as a present. And it hangs on my wall, so it's a one of a kind thing.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No,
Are you
Wow.
feeling in your bedroom?
It is hanging in my bedroom, actually.
You made a
If I
reference
ever-
to a toilet earlier, so I was hoping it wasn't hanging in your bathroom.
Yeah.
No, I got some sweet art in my bathroom.
Me
There you
too.
go.
Toilet, it's a picture of the dude on the toilet when the guys break.
Oh,
Yes.
Nice.
And he's in his robe on the toilet. That's
Well,
a
you
picture
should-
of that.
Hey, Brett, you should show Patrick what's in my.
Yeah, there's
Hey, at least I'm housebroken, man.
Yeah, obviously you're
Nice
not a boy.
marmot.
Or-
Nice marmot.
yeah.
yeah, marmot.
I want to come back to his career. We won't say anything about it, but is it everything that you thought it would be?
I absolutely, you know what? Honestly, without getting too much into it, I absolutely love Chapter 2.
Okay,
I love this
good.
job. I love everything about it. I'm able to put what I consider to be a pretty unique skill set to good use in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And a lot of this job is talking to people.
Are they
And-
calling you up?
Well,
So,
but
Well,
it's
That's good.
great. I
That's
do love
awesome.
it. It's a good
Yeah,
job.
you know, and the thing is, and we talked about the job, and it's a good job.
It is.
You know what? And thank you for doing what you're doing. It's fantastic.
do they what was I going to say? Did you have to go through a bunch of training for it, or
Not
because
as
you're
much
going-
as you would think.
You're changing careers.
Yep, not as much
Okay.
as you would think.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't require a whole hell of a lot of training on the way in. However, as you go along, the ongoing training is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, personality stuff too. They want to know the right character.
Sure.
that You're going.
So, I
into.
mean, the process to get hired in a job like this, as you know, is pretty extensive, and there's a lot of background that goes into it, and you
Sure.
got to pass psych tests and
Yep.
everything else.
Yep.
And I had to go through that whole ringer. So,
Very
made
rewarding.
made it through somehow, despite all the fact that I got
You're a DJ.
spent a lot of time with naked women and porn stars and things like that. I still passed the psych test. Gotcha.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah,
God.
I'll be fired on the way out.
But chapter 2 for me was somewhat similar, but not quite as intense. But yeah, I work for a state of California entity. Each department here has like a public information officer, so that's what I initially got into, and then now I'm at a little higher role with program management. So again, I got to be an assistant program director here at radio, and that bucked me in 2016. But I've transferred my on air and writing skills and whatever to get my foot in the door for the public information part of it. But now I've kind of grown into program management. So yeah, once you get in like a public entity like that, it's so much different than radio, because you're not getting fired every minute of the day.
Nope.
And that's
Patrick,
that's
please,
a real
please
anxiety.
save California.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Please.
not possible.
There, you know what? There is there's hope for guys that have had a career in radio, and they think 'cause when you're in it, you are. Patrick just alluded to it. You're in constant fear of losing your gig.
Yeah.
And when you're in constant fear of losing your gig, you're always in the back of your mind thinking, what the hell else could I do with my life?
Exactly.
I've been doing this and nothing else.
Yep.
What does this translate into? And
Yeah,
honestly, I've found out, and Patrick has found out, that it is a unique skill set, and we can put
Yeah.
it to good use in a completely different way, and it can work.
Yep.
So
Well, being articulate and speaking clearly, and it has a lot there to it. But with your new career, and the rewards that it has, obviously there's other rewards. But do you have enough to do another 20 years?
I don't know.
Well, you're pretty young. You're younger than us.
I entered the job at 44. I'm now 46.
So it's a
almost
perfect
47.
time to, a lot of men at 44 change careers.
Yep.
I mean, we want a new career. We want something different. We've been doing something for a real long time.
Yep. And so I think I'm thinking out loud at this point, but I'm thinking to myself,
64
like,
is 20 years.
yes. And I had to make the decision when I did, because if you wait much longer,
Yeah.
it's really hard to get
Yes.
hired, I think.
Yeah, because you're too old. Yep.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, when I made the decision, I was in my mid 40s as well when I pulled the trigger on that. So, I mean,
Literally.
but
this-
they wanted
Yeah.
wanted people that had experience.
Mm-hmm.
The Gen Z folks that are coming out, they can't live without this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
They can't.
But
they can't function.
but this career is also pension worthy, isn't it?
Sure. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to lie. I
Yeah.
mean, the benefits here are much greater than what I had before. And there's actually a real retirement plan here.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to what in radio when you're just like spending your money as you're making it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have a chance to put much away. I don't know about Patrick.
Strip
I don't have
club.
much, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was fast money and we spent it as fast as we made it back then, you know?
Yep.
So I didn't have a whole lot to think about there. But now, yes, there's definitely a plan and I'll do it as long as I can do it.
Okay, so wait, and I want to change gears a little bit. You're married. You have kids.
Yeah, I'm married, got 3 kids.
3 kids,
Yeah.
boys, girls.
2 boys and a girl.
2 boys and a girl. And how old are they?
So the oldest is 15, middle child's 12, and my girl is 10. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So around Patrick's kids' age.
Yeah.
I got a 10 and 11-year-old.
Yep.
yep,
Okay.
there you go. Yep.
So and they're going to school down there. Does your boy play hockey?
Nope, my kids aren't really. My daughter plays soccer, but the boys are not sports kids.
What are they
at all,
doing?
which
What are
is-
they?
Wow.
So my oldest son is big into music. He's a show choir kid and a
Okay.
choir kid. So
Okay.
Imagine him being into music.
very much so. So he's got something Dad never had, which is the ability to sing and dance. He's a show choir kid, so I could never do that. I suck at dancing. The singing part you could make me do if you held a gun to my head, but that's about it. No, but my middle child, he's still figuring it out. He's 12.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a kind of an artsy kid. He likes to put things together. So I don't know
Put it
what
with
that's
his hands,
going to
yep.
turn into, but I have full faith that
So
this dad will steer them in the right.
so life is good. Life is really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, man, I got no complaints.
That's
Not at all.
That's
No.
awesome.
Good for you. Good for
Thank
you.
you.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. This has been awesome. Being able to talk to somebody who coming from the field from a different perspective that we've had. We had a lot of DJs, but somebody kind of like Patrick that's done the production management that really does enjoy talking to the bands and kind of made a living at it and was able to do a 360 switcheroo and
180.
find the best. Well,
That's a 180.
360, like going full circle and then finding something that really mattered enough where you're in the playing, you're basically in the best time of your life. So that's,
I would not argue that
Yeah.
because I think, I've been through some real ups and downs and, the ups have been pretty fantastic. Not going to lie. The downs suck, of course, but at this point now I look back and I wouldn't change it.
But your career time, we had the greatest time. We had the greatest time living through the 90s.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's bar none. Anybody can argue with it. I'll argue with anybody. If you didn't live through the 80s and the 90s,
I had really good hair back then.
yeah.
I had hair. I had hair
He
back then.
had hair back then.
Remember that salad that Patrick showed in that picture? Mine was pretty similar to that. It might have been 40 years ago, but I remember.
All right.
Nice
well,
to meet you.
Yeah,
very
thank
nice
you for
to have
having
you
me.
here, folks. Once again, thank you for joining us. We can't do this without you. So please make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And we're going to see you next week with another great episode. We'll see you then.
Patrick, peace out. You do.